I'm a long, long way from home. It's a long, long road I'm on. And the angels hear me cry. Sing me a lullaby.
Hi everyone. Good morning. I'm not okay. I spilled a whole bottle of cough medicine in my car today. We just have a moment for that. So today we are recovering mentally and physically. We're going to do some stretching, we're going to do some breathing, some breath work, and we're going to take it easy. You can hear in my voice, I'm just struggling with the sinus infection, but I considered canceling class. My energy's fine. I'm just kind of in one of those like moments. So thank you for being here with me, everyone. We're gonna begin seated. I kept my little shag rug out for the first part of class because I wanted to be really comfy cozy. And I taught a meditation yesterday. So we're all super comf. So all you need is yourself. We're gonna just do a little hip warm up to get ready for seated work. Breathing exercises mostly. If you want a chair nearby, go for it. In the meantime, let's just arrive. I'm going to put our little clock on today. And let me know in the comments if there's anything in particular that you want to work on in the stretch portion. I know we've always got legs and hips, and I don't know about you, but those hips were talking to me this week. So we're going to make sure that we get all of those things in, and I'd also love to know how your knees felt. I gotta be honest with you, I was having some knee pain, and after yesterday's class, she's gone. I feel pretty good about that. All right, neck, yes, I always know, joy. So whether you're seated in your chair or in cross-legged, just take your hands onto your knees, and then let's just round back. I want to get us nice and warm before we practice some stillness. I know, Colleen, you said your garage is cold. Let's lift our chest up, just a little rounding of the back and a tiny little back bend. Thank you, Tracy. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's the allergies. I have never gotten through a year without this. In fact, a lot of times there's a conference that my old life, I used to do conferences right around this time in October, and it's always like, if I scroll through my phones, you know the memories come up every year. It's just like right in the money. We used to have a conference every single year, right on the weekend of Halloween, or right before the weekend, and every single year there's a picture of me in the hospital with a breathing treatment, in bed, usually with a breathing treatment on of some sort. So I'm all medicated, I'm fine. It's just something I go through every single year. Yeah. So Paul, today we can stretch abdominals, but we're doing recovery reset, so we're not going to do a ton of work, okay? It's more about bringing the body back together in this class format, but there is a couple of Pilates classes that you can scroll back to in the library. Let's take our arms out to the side. And then let's just take a side bend. Of course, you're always working your abdominals. I said to my husband, I said, note to self, don't train your oblique muscles right before you get a cold, because when you sneeze, they're gonna hurt. So I've been working my abs very hard for the past couple days, but we'll definitely stretch some things out for sure. And I appreciate all of the requests. Let's go one more each side. Just taking in nice, easy breaths. If you are congested at all like me, one of the things that I've learned throughout the years is that often if you can imagine just breathing through, like, let's go one more each side, a pinhole, and take the tiniest, most gentle little breath through your nose. Sometimes you can get more air through the congestion. Sometimes you can feel like you can take a better breath. Yeah, good. Come on all the way up. Take your left hand to your right knee. Just take a little twist looking around. today's class is listening in. And that can look and sound and feel a couple of different ways. Surely, listening in can just be using your power of listening to sounds, to music. But I also want to take it one step deeper. Let's go a couple more just with these gentle twists. I'd like to start thinking about listening in from the standpoint of really having an ongoing dialogue with your body. Take your hands back, bring your feet forward, and let's just let your knees go side to side, but keep your chest facing front, and then go to the other side. So we're twisting from the lower part of the spine now, and we just twisted more from the upper part a minute ago. So as we're going through this listening in, the dialogue is somewhere along the lines of, what do you want me to know right now? What do you need right now? How can I support you? It's very supportive, and there's an element of active listening that's involved when you start a dialogue with your body. Let's go one more over to the left. Good. And then from here, go ahead and just bend your right knee. Take your left leg out. Even if you're in a chair, you can do a similar situation. Just have your foot on the ground and your leg out to the side. Ground into your sits bones, and then take your hands over and then reach up. So Paul, I don't teach yoga, but the format of Thursday's class is recovery reset. Let's pull it all the way down. So in this class, we work on a lot of mobility, stretching, resetting our joints, our mindset, just so we can really approach the other end of the spectrum, because Monday is pretty high intensity with the bouncing. Wednesday is really strength-based. And then on the Thursday format, it is really about recovering mind, body, and maybe even spirit. Thank you, Colleen. Let's go a couple more. Today, it's all about active listening. Good. Let's lift it all the way up. Bring your arms out to a T. We're going to rotate to face that left leg. Just frame your left leg. This is a gentle stretch first thing. So let's just reach for that leg. See what's there for you. This is the point where you might say, okay, what do you want me to know? So if I ask my body that question, it just wanted me to shift a little bit more into this leg for a little more support. Once we're in this stretch, no matter where you land, obviously I'm not pushing it to the nth degree, let's do a little ankle circle here. So get a little calf movement at the same time as we move through the rest of it. Good. And let's reverse. Yeah, I want to thank you all for tuning in. We're creeping slowly towards that 3,000 watch hours mark. It's it'll all be worth it when it happens, right? It'll all be worth it. Good. All right, let's roll all the way up through the spine. Just take a moment to cross your legs. Just kind of shake it out. That was, I felt like an intense stretch for me today. Maybe it is for you. Let's take it out to the other side. We're going to take our hands to our shin and then just reach over and then pull down. So I'm just kind of moving my shoulder blade across my back. A lot of times just getting your joints to move, getting the bones to move, that's going to be the key to feeling a little more put back together, you know. This is what I want to reframe all of us. And when I say that these statements, just believe me, they're for me too. I mean, I've got many, many years of no pain, no gain, work harder, you know, just give it all you got, leave it all on the mat, all of those things. And so the evolution of that statement is that we really want to honor and work both ends of the spectrum of our ability. So the hard contraction and then also just the mobilizing. Open your arms to your T, rotate towards your leg, take your hands down, and then really lean forward and just let yourself go wherever you like for a moment. Kind of wiggle around, see where your weight wants to be supported. So any habit that we build is based on a little neurological pattern, or pathway rather, in our brain. Let's circle our ankles while we hang out in this stretch. And that pathway at some point includes an anticipatory response, meaning you crave it, you look forward to it, you add it in as a priority. Let's reverse the ankle circles. So there are a lot of us that only know how to crave soreness because that's what we've been taught. We only know how to crave, that feeling that a workout is good if it makes me feel like I can't move the next day. And just listen to that statement. There's something not quite right with it, right? Let's roll all the way up. Let's cross. And then just take a second here. All right. So one more little thing here. Let's bring your feet into a diamond. We're going to take your hands down into the side. This is a little bit of a challenge, but it's also going to help us lengthen out our lower back. So I want you to shift your weight over into your left sitting bone. And don't let your right knee come all the way up. Keep it pretty open, but see if you can lift your right sitting bone up off the mat. So we're hiking up along the right side and shortening the waist. And then how do I say this? What I don't want you to do is just shift back. I want you to think of actively lengthening that right side to come back to center. All right, go with me on this one. It's a little different than anything we've done before. We shift. You can use your hands at the beginning. Lift that sits bone up as much as you can, and then lower down. Sometimes at the beginning, you're going to feel that the flesh of your body is still touching the ground, but your sits bone gets really light. That's just how we're kind of conditioning the lower back and side muscles. Glitch. It's happening all week. I don't like having a sinus infection. It makes me slow. Let's just go side to side a couple more times. Good point, Tracy. She says the Biggest Loser really affected that weight loss for making people feel bad about themselves. Yeah, I hated that show from the beginning. Mostly because it's not about going to a farm and being monitored like an animal. It's your life is more than just how much you weigh. Your life is about the experiences you have and how you feel while doing them. So for me, I know they had all these challenges and everything like that, but it was often like a marathon and all these like super big like stress-inducing challenges. In the NeuroTune program, we are diving so deep into the effects of stress. Let's stay right here for a moment. We're going to come onto the knees for a moment, and if you are not comfortable on your knees, you can sit on your chair. I'm going to just show you on the diagonal. So if you're on your chair, you're going to be with your seat on the chair, 1 foot forward, and the toes tucked under. If you're on your knees, the toes are, if you can see, just like this. And then what we're doing is we're going to do the best we can to just lift our knee. Now my feet are very flexible, years of dancing. So this might cause a little cramp to your foot, but I just want you to feel that motion. Yeah. Oh no. I don't know, Colleen. I think we're all good. It looks like we're streaming well on this end. That's very... Oh, they don't like your ad blocker. Okay. Well, yesterday we did have a glitch, and it was showing. I was standing on camera, but I wasn't on camera. I don't know what the hell happened, but we ended up coming in. So yesterday's class is up, and I know that a lot of you got kicked off because I had to start the stream again. Let's pull that knee up a couple more times. You're just stretching the front of the ankle. Good. Sorry about that. Although I don't have much control. I have control over my end of things. All right, let's go to the other side. I'm just going to switch sides. So just opening up the front of the ankle, kind of reaching into it, and releasing. And this is all about, again, as we come into this listening and practice, it's really about, okay, what can I... Hi! Oh, did you come to stretch with us? Can you stretch? What a good boy. That was a beauty stretch. Aw, he's a good boy. He is my buddy. I did not expect him to come over. It's got to be the shag rug. He likes it. Yeah, I forgot what I was talking about, but let's go one more. Oh, the listening in practice, just about checking in. All right, so I don't want to put my seat in your face, so I'm going to go this way. Yeah, I am. So let's come onto hands and knees. We're going to do that inner thigh stretch that we've done a bunch. You want to send your leg out to the side. Let me make sure that that foot is as close to being directly out from your hip as possible. Are you going to steal the show right now? You are. And then from here, your back is flat, and we're sitting back towards the heel to stretch the inner thigh. And then we're going to come forward. Yeah, the foot stuff is not easy, Tracy, so that's why we just did it. I hope you'll return to it. I hope you'll try it again. But, again, listening in, trying to find those different motions. Oh, you get to give kisses. Wow. He's not a kissing dog. Wow, that was very nice. Wow, what did I do to get so lucky? Because we went on a long walk today? We're going to just do a couple more of these. Now, I'm really looking for my inner thigh to stretch. I'm looking for a little, knee mobility here. Good. All right. Let's go back one more time. Now, before we go to the other side, we're going to come up to the top and then step this leg forward into a kneeling position. Want to have a little bit of a tuck under here. And again, if you're sitting in a chair, you're just trying to make this shape with your feet in the chair. Let's take our hands behind our head. You can always use one here or with the chair for balance. Our exercise is to rotate towards the front leg. We're going to take a side bend and catch ourselves. That was a little out of control, but we'll get there. Catch ourselves down on the ground. When you come back up, push through your shin and your front leg to come up, hands behind the head, and then rotate back to face front. So we turn to the leg, we side bend over, stretch the arms apart, push down through your legs, try not to use your arms. I know you might have to, but the goal is to just use your torso. So I guess, Paul, if anything is going to be integrating the abdominals, it's this one. So these are all the side muscles that help us stabilize. The less you use your hands, the more you'll use your core torso. Good. I'm pretty excited. There's a lot of financial investment that goes into getting decent music, and I can't afford the popular music. Let's go one more over and come over. It's just not in my budget right now. So tuck your toes under. And you can either stay in the stretch and just open up your chest towards that front leg, or if you want to shift this into a long lunge, you can pick that knee up and just open it here. Right. Yeah. Find that stretch, supporting with your hand through your feet. Thinking of that knee reaching over the second and third toes, opening your chest a little bit more. Good. And then lower it down and release. And come. Actually, we should probably come up the way we came down. There we go. I'm on to the next one. Okay, so let's go into the inner thigh stretch. Thank you. I love it too. So my good news, let's reach your leg out from your hip at hip height, hands under your shoulders, and then shift back. So my good news is that they're allowing me to keep using it at hopefully a lesser rate on YouTube. So that is a huge relief to the monthly expenses. That means more treats for a flashlight. Let's reach. It's a really interesting time. I've been talking to a lot of entrepreneurs in the health and wellness space and like the service space, photographers and things like that. And, with everything that's going on in the world and not knowing how that's going to affect the economy, a lot of people have paused a lot of things, and it's challenging to want to give really good work out into the world, but also know that you're not negotiable, or you are negotiable. You're not a priority. Like the first thing to go usually is fitness for folks. Unfortunately, you keep the Netflix, but they let go of the subscription to move their body. So we just keep going. We see what we can. We see what we can do. All right. But I'm excited because I was a little worried about what happens if we don't get our nice music for these classes. Okay, last one. All right, let's come up. Let's step that foot forward. Let's get our bearings here. Taking your hands behind your head. Little tuck of the tail so you feel that stretch on the front. We're going to rotate towards the back leg and then reach all the way over. Big stretch. Press down to lift up. And then rotate to the front. And again, reach. It's like you're trying to descend slowly. Good. What do y'all think? You think my peace lily is happy over here? Just like pop, 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 3 lilies, right one after the other. Crazy. Got so many new additions over here, mostly babies of other plants. Yeah. If the wellness thing fails, I'll open a greenhouse. It'll be great. It's not. I'm not going anywhere, y'all. It's just been an interesting season. Let's go one more time. Turn and reach and bring it all the way down. If you'd like, you can tuck your toe, find that big long lunge. Good. Maybe sink your hips just a little deeper. Really nice. All right. Let's go ahead and lower that knee down. Let's actually come up the way that we did on the last time. Good. And face front. All right, one more tiny little toe stretch, okay? We want to tuck the toes under. This might be a stretch in and of itself. All right, this is absolutely a listening in. I think what we all will feel initially is a sense of panic because when's the last time you stretched your toes, quite honestly, right? So what I want you to do is either be here and just enjoy what you're feeling, or if you are able to sit back and add pressure to your toes, then I'll invite you to do that. That's okay on one foot, not so much on the other foot. We're gonna just be here for 30 seconds. And your breath is your best friend. If you need to come out of it, that's okay. Definitely don't push yourself into pain. I'm gonna ease up on my toe just a little bit here. If you need to hinge forward, that's where I need to be right now. So I listened to my body. It was like, we can do it, but we're not really excited about it. Good, almost there. 5 more seconds. And release. Untuck your toes. Shake them out. Good. Both ways. All right, let's swivel around. And then let's come on down to our back. So, I'm off the rug because of you, doggy. I'm off of it because of you. I'm gonna do this. There we go. All right. Somebody needs to take a screenshot of this one. It's a bolster, but it's also your pet. Take your right knee into your hands behind your hamstring, and then just pump your heel towards your sit bone down. I want you to think about breaking a pencil behind your kneecap. So just squeezing and pumping some blood back there for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then from here, we're gonna stretch it up, kick, 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 and bend it down. Ooh, this is gonna be a good one. Now try to kick with your heel. Bend it all the way down. It does not matter how straight you get it. You just do the best you can to press to your edge, to the place where you find the tension. Good. I mean, he's just fast asleep. Yeah. Good. Thank you, Tracy. I as soon as I went into that toe stretch, I'm like, oh, she's not gonna like this one. I don't like the toe stuff either, honestly, but it makes such a difference. Good. We're gonna do one more to come up and stay, okay? All right, hold at whatever straight level you can. Circle your ankles around. Now I want you to imagine there's like a mixing bowl full of frosting right above your foot hanging from the ceiling. And your job is to really scrape the frosting off, and it's thick. So think of that quality as you move through your toes. You're trying to scrape the sides of the bowl with your foot. You should feel some calf stretching. Maybe even a little of our shin stretching with Colleen's favorite toe tapping exercise from Monday. Or was it last week? Let's reverse our circles. Same scraping action. So when we work with an image like scraping frosting out of the bowl, which is one of my favorites, this is an example of working with something called isometric resistance, where you feel resistance, but there's nothing really there. You're creating it for yourself. And this is a really great way to work in general to find a sense of work in a stretch. All right, let's release. Let's just find kind of a neutral space for our foot. And we're gonna just bend the knee slowly. Take your left hand to the outside of your right knee and just cross your body. You don't have to roll all the way onto your side. This is more for your side hamstring and your side hip. Maybe your right arm goes out to a T. If it feels good to roll all the way over, then like be my guest, but it's not. The farther your hip lifts off the mat, the more the stretch becomes for your lower back, which we'll get to, but right now it's more about the hip and the hamstring. So if you're far enough across, you can make a little platform for your leg, flex your foot, and then kick it out at that level, and then bend it back. And now we're gonna start to find that outer calf, outer shin-ish sort of stretch. My opposite shoulder is down as I bend and stretch here. We're just making it happen. You'd think this dog never, you'd think we never spend any time together. He has a new bed, and he's doing a pretty good job staying in it. But last night I was up a lot sneezing, and he just sat next to me like this. So maybe he's my little emotional support puppy today. Good. All right, bend your knee, cross your ankle over your knee, and then thread the needle and come through as best you can. You can always grab a towel if you need to for a little extra stretch. I'm gonna allow that right knee to open out. Feel your tailbone getting heavy to the mat. And then gently draw your left knee in towards your ankle. Let your right knee open. Deep breath in. Exhale all the way. Good. Now let's, from here, release the left leg. Slide your right knee over. And you want to see if you can grab hold of your knees or your shins or something like this, or your ankles if you can get them. And then you're just pulling your knees in towards your chest. It's going to be a pretty extreme stretch for your outer hip. Again, any amount you can. Try to relax and listen into where the space might be. And then from here, give your legs a little bit of a pump. So press your legs up into your hands, almost like you're gonna straighten them both, and then bend them back down into the stretch. And just move in and out of that movement for a bit. And if you're only able to do it with one leg, that's okay. Good. Let's go one more. Hi. They're so random. You guys are seeing what's happening. I'm not seeing what's happening. You're so silly. All right, let's go the other side. Unhook the leg. Where am I gonna put it now? I'll put it over here. Don't give me that look. Hands behind your left leg. Start by just pumping the back of the knee. It's like we're just getting some blood in there. Yeah, Flashy's the best. He's Jackson's dog. Right. Go 4. He's gonna be 4 years old in February. I can't believe it. The time has flown. All right, let's extend that leg out. Stretch it nice and high. Reach and bend it down. See if you can get a little breath matching the movement, whether it's an inhale up or an exhale down or the opposite of that. It doesn't really matter as long as it helps you feel like good, like that's what you personally want to be doing. I like that inhale up, exhale down, but You can do what feels good to you too. We're gonna do one more up to stay. Hold it here, find your bowl of frosting, and then scrape it around with those ankle circles. Good. I always think of the reset classes as like your eat your veggies classes, even though we all like vegetables now. But you know, it's that idea of eating them on the plate in addition to the other stuff. So this is the vegetable stuff. These are the vitamins and the nutrients of movement. Let's reverse your circles. You want to get them in. Remember that resistance, moving your toes, moving your ankles. I'm gonna forget the exact amount of bones in your feet. I think it's 28, I might be wrong. But the point is there's a lot of them. So see how many you can move. Good. All right, so we're gonna come back to center. We're gonna bend that knee, take your opposite hand across and just cross to get that outer hip stretch. See if you can keep the opposite chest on the ground, opposite shoulder, I should say. It's a little easier with flashlight under my knee last time. We're gonna take a little hand, make a shelf, and then extend that leg out on the diagonal and bend it back in. So outer hamstring, outer calf, reach. Good. Let's go 2 more here. Good. Pull it all the way in, cross over, let that knee open, and then let's thread the needle. Flex. I had a job interview yesterday for teaching seniors at a rehab center. I was so excited about it. So remember, tailbone down, and we're just tugging in on the right leg. But it was going to mean like a 2-hour commute every day. And I just couldn't do it for reasons. I just said, it wouldn't even, at this point, the gas, it wouldn't cover the gas, but I was excited about the opportunity to do some of what we do out in the senior center. Who knows? All right, let's ease off this stretch, cross the knee over. Either reach by your knees, by your shins, by your ankles if you can. Placing this tennis ball on various parts of the body. They're really good like that. They're like, why don't you try it balancing the ball? All right, let's extend or try to straighten those legs up any amount and then bend them down. This is brutal, I know. I'm trying to make it feel like it's easy. That's the job of an instructor, is to be like, no, it's fine. It's a little brutal, especially if you're tight in the hips, so just know it's not just you. Good. All right, 2 more times. One more time. Reach it up. Bring it down. All right, uncross. Shake them out a little bit. Maybe give yourself a little circle around your sacrum. And then reverse. All right, so we're gonna do one of those. I'm gonna turn this way so that's not to disturb the puppy. One of the bridging exercises that helps us kind of realign our low back. So we want to come up to our top bridge, arms down by the side. And then for this one, we've done the one that shifts side to side, and you can absolutely do that one if that feels like where you need to be today. But today I want to do a little rotation one where you drop one hip lower than the other, and then you rotate to the other side. So left hip drops, right hip presses up. It's almost like your pelvis is on a rotisserie, and you're just shifting side to side. So we're gonna do 8 at the top, and then we'll lower it down. Let's say this is 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come to center, maybe lower 2 inches down, and then we rotate again. Remember, the closer you get to the ground, you're gonna have more opportunity to rotate. Your knees are not moving side to side, but they might be kind of pumping forward and back. Just feel that movement around your lower back. Good. Come back to center, lower down a couple more inches, and then rotate. Maybe your hips touch the mat, maybe they're just hovering. I always think about this one as a little kind of gentle motion for the SI joint. And if it's not feeling good, then lessen the range or go to the side to side. Side to side can sometimes feel a little bit better. But you know, that SI joint, sometimes it gets locked up because it's hypermobile. Sometimes giving it a little bit more movement can help it find its way. All right, lower down. One more time. Yes, you'll feel your hamstrings. Yes, you'll feel your hips. Shifting side to side, rotating. Good. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back up to center. Tuck your tail under and then roll all the way down through the spine. All right, from here, we're gonna take a spinal twist. How are we doing this, Flashy? All right, so you're gonna take a spinal twist, taking your knees over. Once you get your knees all the way over to one side, you can absolutely take your ankle on top of your knee and let your ankle give pressure to your outer thigh and hip. And then let's just be here for a minute. We did a lot of the banded work over the past 2 weeks. So yeah, it's a lot. What did you say? What kind of plant is that on the window middle closest to you? This one is I think this is what you're talking about. They're actually both the same plant. They're both pothos, although this one is a just regular old run-of-the-mill pothos, but it's on a moss pole. And then there's a little bit of a princess pothos, a white princess variegated on the bottom, and then that one's more of the white princess. Those pothos, they do really well here, so I have a lot of them. All right, release. Come back up to the center, let your back release. And then we'll go to the side. And if you want to put that foot on the top, go for it. We have elephant ear alocasia. We have pothos. We have, this is a baby monstera, it just hasn't burst like that one yet. Peace lily, Florida beauty, pothos, and then that is a Japanese, it's a pilea, and it's not doing so well. I think I have to put it back in water. It was doing beautifully in water, and then I stupidly planted it in soil. Sometimes you change the environment and you mess it up. You mess up the progress. So luckily this one I've been able to bring back a bunch of different times because it's just had a couple of problems. Good. Release. Come all the way back up. Give me a little pelvic tilt side to, or front to back, excuse me, just so you get that going. All right, we're gonna come up to sit. We're almost there, everybody. I always aim to do like 20 minutes of stretches, but then we start getting warm and then, you know, it is what it is. So this one is a Z sit or a side sit, whatever you can manage for your hips. And certainly remember sitting on a pillow, a yoga block, a bolster under the hip. Oh, by the way, I just ordered a bolster. I'll put it in my Amazon shop. It was not very expensive at all. It was like $30. And I'll tell you, for those of you who get a little irritated with the Pilates work, this is, I wouldn't have found it if I wasn't teaching in a yoga studio, but my God, has it made everything just like really yummy. So if you want to add that to your home deal, I'll add it today, and then I'll bring it in maybe for next week for one of the classes to show you. All right, so you're either in your Z sit or you're in your side sit, and I have to always remember. Okay, so left hand to right knee. You're gonna twist towards the front foot and look back. And if you are sitting up really tall, the stretch happens on the back side of your torso. So you turn back, you're supporting yourself with your hands, and you're not slumped down, you're trying to lift up as tall as possible, and then turn your head very regally over your front shoulder, and just breathe here. So the more you can sit up onto your hips, the easier it's going to be for you to find the stretch. Not easier in general. This one is a heat builder for me. Breathing. And if you are in that Z sit, you just want to make sure that your Z leg is kind of more straight coming out of your hip. That it changes it a bit, but it's all about the twist back and then the reach forward. Good. All right, let's look back to our back shoulder. Come out of this and then take your back foot. You can have it in front if you can cross it over the other one. If you want to have it on the walk up on your toes, that's okay. And then we're going to try to hook in the knee into your elbow. Hand is okay too. So if we hook there and we sit up as tall as you can, now we twist in the opposite direction. This time the stretch for me is on the same side, but on the top of my back rather than the bottom, if that makes sense. And this time we're gonna stay looking back. If you do yoga regularly and you wanna hook your elbow in and give a little push, that's available for you. I always have to watch out for these stretches because I have a little hypermobility and sometimes I push myself too far into them and it actually ends up feeling not great afterwards. So I just stay in the mid-range for myself. Good. All right, let's release here. Let's let this knee just relax, I know, and then lift your chest and just reach forward. So very intense outer hip stretch here. You should have never let me go. Breathe into the back. And the listening is, what do I need to sustain where I am right now? Is it self-talk? Is it support? Is it breath? Is it easing into or out of the stretch? What's going to help? Good. From here, let's come up. We're almost done with this side. We're going to take your top leg. You're going to scoop it around the back again, and then see if you can lengthen that leg back behind you. So this is like a pigeon from yoga, where the leg is back behind you. You can absolutely have a block under your hip. This is probably the most intense hip stretch we're gonna do today. Want to come down onto your forearms. This might be enough for you. Or you can let your head drop and just breathe into that bent leg. There's a lot that's happening in this stretch. This is one of those ones that I never like to do, but it does really affect how I feel about my hips afterwards. If you've got the range of motion and you want to lower your head down onto your hands, that's possible. I'll stay up on my forearms today. I'm just here for a few more seconds. Go ahead and press yourself up, walk your hands back, and then let's take our feet back into cat-cow bending position. Just round your spine here and arch your back. Rounding. And arching. And then come back to center. Let's sit onto the other hip, finding your Z or just your side sit. Take your right hand to your left knee, rotate to the back, and then turn your head to the front. Sitting up nice and tall, looking for the stretch on the outside of the left side of your torso. Just breathe here. Looking for little bits of space, little sips of air. Little internal affirmations. One that I've been working with this week is you did not sign a contract to be perfect. Turns out. Let's look our head back and then come out of the twist. Cross your foot in top if you can. Lift up, reach forward, and just let your body weight press gently onto your thigh. Oh, that's okay. We'll stay here. We'll do the twist after. Reach your arms forward. Maybe we did do it in that direction. I can't remember. It's okay. All right, come on up. hook it in, pull it close, rotate to the back, and just keep the length in your spine. Think of your spinal column swirling, twirling, lifting up to the top. Untwist a spine, and then take this front leg, reach it all the way around and back. Try to straighten it as much as you can. Taking your hands, working your way down for a moment, and just finding that outer hip stretch. And, you know, sometimes when we move into stretching tissues, we have resistance, a little bit of a painful sensation, not an injury pain, but, you know, the burning. Sometimes when tissues change, they do tend to burn, whether it's muscularly or stretching. So you just want to be able to discern the difference between those two sensations, one that's telling you that this is an emergency and one that's telling you that this is okay, but that it's not comfortable. We can sit with discomfort, but we're not asking ourselves to sit with damage. Feels like there's a life lesson baked into that statement a bit. Be willing to sit with your discomfort, but don't stay in your damage for too long. Good. From here, let's go ahead and slowly, using our breath to support ourselves, walk ourselves back up. And let's come back into our hands and knees position. Just rounding and arching. Good. Open your knees and shift your way back to your hips, and then take both hands over to the right side of your mat as your hips go to the left. Breathe into that long side of the left body. We'll switch sides. And come back to center and roll up gently. And let's just come into a comfortable seated position for the last minute or so. Hopefully your hips feel a little more grounded and everything feels a little bit more put together. I feel like the day is a little more possible. So just find a comfortable position for yourself. Hands can be in your lap or on your knees, whether you're in a chair or on a mat. And I'm just going to pull my gaze inward for a moment because I feel like if I close my eyes, I might fall asleep at this point. So I'm just going to keep it nice and focused. Noticing the sounds that are happening around the building. There's a forklift outside. I can hear a train in the distance. But right now, I'm just going to tune in and try to, like an AM radio station, try to find that exact point on the dial where you can maybe hear the station of what your body wants to report to you. Think about it as maybe the quick overview of the news of your movement experience this week. And if your body were to give you a recap of the highlights that happened and some of the challenges you made through, what would that sound like? I'm just going to be in silence for a couple moments, and I'd love for you to just play in your mind with what the message that your body might want to send to you. Let's take a deep breath in. Just coming back into the space. A little movement of our spines and our fingers and our toes. Let's do a little head circle around to one side. Joy, I realized I had a very hippie class to do today, but sometimes the hips can affect the neck, so I'll make sure to bake the neck into next week. Good. If anybody is willing to share a message that they received from their body, I'd love to see it in the chat. My body, very clearly, what I heard was thank you for pacing yourself this week, but I am actually very tired and I need to rest. And it was one of those things, you know how you have a hard conversation with someone and they tell you the truth and you're like, oh, okay, okay. I also got, I know you like the Skittles, but we're done with the Skittles because my belly has not been feeling great this week and we have so much Halloween candy in the house. So, okay, I'm gonna listen, you know, and that's important. Like sometimes your body knows better than you. Yes, good. I'm so glad you feel better, JC. All right, I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Again, stay tuned for more classes, and just know that this week was, you know, a little bit off, but every day was made just that much better knowing that I was going to be here with you all who show up so frequently and willingly. And hydrate, pet your puppy dogs. Yeah. I don't know what you think you hear, but you don't hear anything. And listen, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching other classes. Thank you for telling your friends. Thank you for subscribing. You know, 2023 has really been a year of building. And let's just say we're ready to open it up and receive in 2024. So ready, universe. Do you hear me? I'm listening to you. All right, my friends, have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Big love. See you.